Okay, yeah. So I said Nana Basablo will be joining me later. He's here. So we are talking about the friendlies. Some people are calling it the European disaster. Austria 5-1, Germany 2-1. Let's start with Austria 5-1. So I think for me, I was quite a bit impressed with the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I think we were playing really well, and for some reason, concentration went into the. I think when the penalty happened, right after we conceded that penalty, everything went there. What do you think?
I believe we're terrible from the start.
Okay.
So I believe that we went there believing the Austrians played a certain way and we had to counter it. For me, from the beginning, that's a defeatist mentality. If you already believe the other team is so good that you have to come up with something to play them, then you're already chasing the game. So I personally believe individually we're not that terrible.
Because if you remember, in 2006, we played them, right? We played a 1-1 draw.
Yes. We played them several times, but
Yeah, but that's the one I remember with Muntari scoring the equalizing goal. But that game, Ghana really dominated it.
yeah, we did. But the main issue is always how you position yourself mentally before games like that. When the whole thing started, it was so obvious that we thought the Austrians were superior than us. And from the beginning, we played scared. Then we conceded an early penalty. Then it seems that every fear we had is practically coming true. So he started
the defending posture.
defending posture, some knee solutions to
Then Austria was a team we could have played.
we could have easily played our football day.
But do you think we did that against the? Because I think against the Germans, they were determined to play better, but they played against the Austria.
The issue, you might think against Germany we had phases of good football in there.
Yeah, but at some point you could thought we were bringing passes together. At least it was a bit better than Austria.
That is what the Germans made it look. At first, is what they did. They played in phases. First 15 minutes, they were putting pressure. The next 5 minutes,
They were also wasteful.
yeah, they couldn't score. So what they did was they retreated. They started resting, allowed that to play the game for about 5 minutes. Exactly the 20th minute, they started again, putting pressure. We went on to the 35th minute. Then we had some phase in the game. Then it went up again. They tried. Then the last 5 minutes, Then the last 5 minutes, what they did was making sure that they wouldn't, they were determined not to concede before the half. So they also started taking their time.
Honestly, what do you think we can do to improve?
We thought we were playing the game, but they were managing the game.
Yes, but technically, what do you think Utado should have done that he didn't?
First of all, I believe
In both games.
in both, I believe he had carried his ideology, his fear or his own insecurities, and he has practically placed it on the team. No, it's true. We are not a bad team.
But
We've had a bunch of matches.
he's being too cautious.
He's been too cautious. Ghana has never been a team that people really talk about the one goal project.
I think that one
we were playing football.
and not just playing. Sometimes we're dominating the game.
Just that we're not scoring a lot.
Our striking force, we only had as a watch somebody was a scorer.
And even that
Created
we created a lot of chances in those games and scored. We're not a defensive team, and that's the issue is that people look back at the 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0.
because it was tactical.
Yeah,
You score one, you close up.
yeah.
That was the
And
Milos.
and even by closing up, we're holding the ball. In closing up, we're holding the ball. There are phases where we were defending, even against Germany, that we lost 1-0.
Oh yeah, that we
In the
played.
30th,
We don't
play
play the
football.
game.
Even against
In the 2-2 against Germany in 2014, we dominated.
practically the best game I've seen Sulam Mintai play.
Yeah, we dominated the whole.
Probably next to it is his first game against South Africa, the one that he scored the best.
Yeah, I remember.
But the issue is that when you don't instill confidence in a team, you don't get the best out of them. Yes, let's move on. So if you don't instill some kind of confidence in your team, you can clearly see it. It's just like for Abra keep the best disaster I've seen of latest Man United, so I keep referring to them. Man United and Amorim wasn't that we didn't know how to play football or we didn't have the best quality of products, but it's because we played based on how Amorim felt about the team. Amorim thought the team was not good enough, needed certain materials, certain people directly,
Carry team
and he just so
things.
he just told them to play football. They play football.
I don't know whether you watch Bayern versus Real Madrid.
I've only seen the highlights.
Okay.
Accidentally,
And I watched the whole game. But what actually I was interested in or impressed by was the post-match interview between Company and Steven Gerrard. Gerrard was covering the game and he asked him what was his tactical plan coming to the game. He said he knows he has players who are very skillful, very comfortable with the ball. So he allows them to be themselves. He are giving them a lot of freedom. And usually, especially as a modern coach, that's what you should do. But what he said that my mind went to Tado is like Gary Al Smith said something the other time on Sporty TV. He said Ghana is a team like a sports car Ferrari, but Otado is using it like a Fiat.
or being Uber around say that
Yes, he's not utilizing the car.
imagine driving a Ferrari through traffic
Exactly.
when it's to be on an aching road.
I thought it was a perfect.
And that's how I also feel about the team. I hardly know any Ghanaian player who can take on a player, no matter from defense to striker, even the goalkeeper.
Samuel, Patao.
Every Ghanaian player can practically dribble.
This one, I think it's Indian. Niam. Dana, you.
I believe he made a pass.
These guys are very comfortable with them. Bonsuba. These guys are very, very, very comfortable with how. Very comfortable with the ball.
Even our most this Ibrahim Suleimana,
Like Showusu.
Lasowusu came on and was very direct and
Yeah, he played very, very well, especially against Germany.
and one thing I realized was that he wasn't. So another thing I've realized is that we play scared. It seems nobody wants to,
And
nobody wants a
that was
caution.
coming from the coach. Confidence.
Nobody wants a caution.
I'm not sure he's inspiring confidence in his team.
I was watching. People usually describe Maradona's goal against England, the second goal, the one that Patrick ran to everybody. I keep saying if that game was against Italy and he wouldn't score that goal. He can score against them. They would have stopped. They would have fouled him. I personally don't understand how it is possible that a Ghana team plays football and none of their defensive midfielders and none of their midfielders end up with a card. You see players pass balls through the team or run with the ball through the team, go past players, and they end up in goal. Even that goal against Chad.
Oh yeah, that was disappointing.
You are leaving 1-0. There is 5 minutes to go.
We are the only team who didn't score charge.
No, the issue is that we're living comfortably. Probably we're controlling the game. Wanted to then the player carries the ball. 85th minute or something goes through past 3. Nobody fouls him. None of the players were on the card.
And you know one thing,
And none of them fouled.
you know one thing in modern football that I don't understand. The player goes by and the defenders do this. I don't know whether I realize that.
If it's in the box, because of the bar.
Sometimes it's not even in the box. Sometimes it's just around the box and they'll be doing this. And I'm not saying even
Not every foul ends up in a yellow card.
yes.
There's a smart law being
You have to
don't hold the shirt, don't pull him. You can bump into him.
yes, and he will fall.
And another thing is don't let him dribble you before you bump into him. Bump into him now is coming with the ball.
Interesting enough, you see somebody with the ball
So that tackle him.
being the last. This is the interesting thing. Somebody being the last man, and they will actually tackle the person. And the question I ask myself is, even if he scores, you are 11 on the pitch, you can equalize, right? if you get a red card and you go off,
So
that one they won't do anything.
so I personally think that the team is not bad, but we've had a coach that had made them play scared for a very long
Thought
time.
he was inept of ideas. He was inept of ideas, and it showed, especially when we played very good teams.
Yeah.
You could see it was our class, and
No, the moment
he
he
didn't
played,
have a lot of
the
ideas.
issue is that he had told himself somehow that we're not a good team. So whenever we played against teams he thought were better than us, he played scared. Packing the defense, three back, which sometimes were not necessary. Even an extra midfielders would have held backs in most of those games instead of practically packing the defense. We use full backs instead of wing backs when we played the back three. Technically, it meant that we always had high defenders because those full backs were not moving forward. When you play they play a straight back to the central one should be a very good tackler. The lateral defenders in the back three should be very good on the ball and should be able to progress the ball. They should practically be able to play like defensive midfielders and pass the ball. Means move the ball forward. Be able to take the ball in certain positions and pass. Find a pass under pressure. Be able to play with their backs.
So you believe he wasn't qualified for the job?
He was given the job, but I believe he didn't learn on the job. He didn't take advantage of an opportunity given to him.
He deserved the sack.
Oh, definitely.
And some people are saying he should have been sacked before the AFCON. After when we didn't qualify for the AFCON.
Yeah,
where
they were talking about stability, but after qualifying for the World Cup, we should have something.
Because the reason why I'm worried is I watched all the World Cup qualifying games, and I still believe it was the players who were determined enough to qualify. Because sometimes you wouldn't really see any pattern of play in most of the matches that we played. It was more of individual brilliance and the boys wanting to go to a World Cup.
So the first two games, that is the third and fourth game, I understand that the one we played against Mali and the one we came to play against Chad, it was pure determination. But after that, we played another two games against Madagascar and
You believe that one was tactically?
Yes, that one was a bit tactical because we took advantage. We were changes in the way they play. We took advantage of a lot of set pieces.
Does he have anything against substitutions too?
That the issue is
in week, so maybe the 70th minute.
this is what I'm trying to say.
That he thinks doesn't have quality on the bench.
Team. He believes in the team. That is the belief he carried through his job. He believed the team was not that good.
You don't believe in it.
So if when we're not doing well, he didn't take chances on people.